Good morning, church, and welcome to Monday Morning Musings for June 13th. My name is Dave, and I'm one of the pastors at Community Christian Church at Carillon. This past Sunday, our church began a new series of messages about improving our human relationships through the application of spiritual measures, making our earthly relationships better by focusing on our relationship with God. Well, as my Sunday afternoon Zoom group discussed this concept, we touched on some things I'd like to share. The focus of this first message was on establishing your identity, because you can't have relationships if you don't know who you are. Now that may seem kind of simplistic. We all know who we are, don't we? I mean, when someone asks you, "Who are you?" you're not usually stuck for an answer. But the answer often varies with the situation. Your answer will depend upon what information you want to present to the one who is asking. Perhaps you will simply tell them your name, or what you do for a living, or whose spouse you are. It could be anything that fits the time and place in which you find yourself. And most of our answers would center around relationships. I'm Linda's husband. Oh, I'm Bob's friend. I'm the sales manager. I'm new around here. I'm Jared's dad. I'm your neighbor. All of these are relationships. And that's fine. We are in many ways defined by our relationships. Much of our life is given over to interacting with others. But all of these relationships are transitory. They change over time. They alter with new circumstances. All of our earthly relationships are temporary. And temporary things should not be used to define an eternal soul. So, who are you? When you strip away the temporary, when you clear out the superficial, who are you then? Down at the bottom, at bedrock, it matters. It matters because all of your many relational roles will be reflections of your primary role. For example, if you see yourself first and foremost as a mother, everything else will be filtered through that. Your relationships with your neighbors will be limited to those interactions that don't get in the way of your mothering. You will exclude yourself from some things. You will include yourself in some other things. You will make all of your roles subservient to your chosen main role. And then your children will grow up and move out, and suddenly you're nobody. Any human relationship that we try to make into the foundation of our identity will fail in that same way. Something will change and our identity will collapse. But there's a relationship that won't change, that won't fail, that won't lead to identity collapse, our relationship with God. That relationship is unchanging because God is unchanging. And by selecting beloved child of God as your foundational identity, you create an identity that will last forever. And as a bonus, and God is so good at this, all of your other relationships will fill your life in exactly the amount and to exactly the degree that they should. Because when you get the foundation right, everything else lines up square and level and plumb, just like God intended. And may He bless you all.